Yo, what's up? Today we've got a bit of a surprise. We're going to do a bodybuilding crossed with calisthenics.
Attention. I got some things I want to mention. You listening?
Fact check, yeah. Bro, shit is back in your tape deck, yeah. Don't wreck, head banging in the Tesla, that's breakneck. On the road, fucking up, pretty fat women and fat checks, nigga. Last test, is it true that you ain't fucking with Taz? Yes. Turn up the bass, now go. I need the whole earth to hear my flow. Bitch act like you know. 1, 2, 3, we been here before. Damn how it gets so dark. Niggas act dumb when you get too smart. Getting high in the damn airport. Contact high for my damn escort.
I guess the difference, I got my boy Ash here, who's Mr. Physique of 2021.
Rain, dropped on them cheeks, so I need change. Break the chains. Like a phoenix, I rise out of these flames. No more games. Beauty is pain, so I take aim. We ain't the same. You lame, I reign. Say what? I reign. Let's go, I reign.
2022. He's going to be the physique dude. I'm going to do the Cali stuff. He's also a sports scientist.
Sports science background, physique athlete.
And he does all that bodybuilding shit. We're going to do like a exercise for exercise where I'll do a calisthenics exercise. So say for a handstand push-up, where then Ashley's going to do like a...
We do front rack shoulder press, so rather than doing a standard military press, which is quite wide, just like a handstand push-up, we're going to go front rack, so it's coming quite a way forward in front of the shoulders. A lot of pressure on the anterior delt, triceps. Let's do it.
You lame, I reign. No pressure, just pleasure. This all the thanks I get. Need pressure. Rebirth, got the tether. This all the thanks I get.
Separation. Me and my ex still fucking, that's reparations. I think we need to make a whole new declaration. Make every cop killer come.
See, how many reps do you reckon you could do that?
About 15 maybe.
So I reckon if I was fresh, I would max out at 8. But Ash reckons he can get 15. Yeah, I would absolutely pump him in a handstand push-up competition, just because it's what I do daily. So it's not so much how much more difficult everything is. Like obviously lifting weights on like the functionality aspect, or you just pick the fucker up and push it or lift it or whatever. Mentally, that's easy to think about. There is a lot more technique and form to it. But instinctually, if there's something heavy that has to go above your head, you're gonna do it what your body thinks is the strongest way to do it. Same with the deadlift, same with anything. Where if you're doing a handstand push-up, you don't do that in a daily activity, so you have to train yourself to actually understand how to do it before you can do it. I used to do bodybuilding type stuff when I first started training, but one, I hurt my back doing a heavy deadlift because I can't deadlift for shit, and 2, I just got bored as fuck. I think if you don't have a goal that you're going towards, and I'm pretty competitive as well, so Ashley, for instance, does bodybuilding as his sport, so he has other people to compete against and himself. If you don't have that aspect of it, or you don't have certain goals to just lift weights, you can do it, but you just get bored as fuck. So that's why I went to calisthenics as well, because I had no interest in doing bodybuilding. That, I guess, is the bodybuilding equivalent to a handstand push-up. Whenever you're doing bodyweight stuff, especially upside down, you got to use a lot more core and balance, so your proprioceptors go out of whack when you go upside down, because when you're standing upright, which we do our whole lives, our proprioceptors get used to that feeling. As soon as you go upside down, they don't really know what's going on. So it's really hard to, I guess, wrap your head around doing a handstand to begin with. Anyway, you've seen how he was coming more, instead of coming out wide with his shoulder press, he was coming in closer grip and more forward. You'll see why.
It's sadness that's raining. Spinning time changing.
See how my face traveled forward, so my arms for instance, ended up in like a 90-degree instead of a wide shoulder press. When you do a handstand, if you're coming down in a kind of a shoulder press position like this, or like this, I'll show you what happens. It just makes it super awkward to push out of and really bad for your shoulders.
Because I don't practice it, obviously I'm pretty good at handstands, especially for a bodybuilder. However, the specificity for me isn't there. I can't really get myself into a decent position coming down to be able to press back up. I've got the strength there in the eccentric portion going down, but pressing back up, I find it hard to just stabilize all the way through my core and make it up. So it's not really a lack of strength, it's just that stability factor while pressing that I just don't have, whereas with the weights, no problem.
Anybody who's into calisthenics or anybody who's been to the gym knows what muscle up is. It's usually like a goal for a lot of people to get a muscle up to begin with, especially when they just lift weights, where with calisthenics, men more so than women, I'm not being sexist, it's just men are stronger than women in general. Muscle up's probably the most basic of the calisthenics regime. So I'll show you. There's actually 3 types of muscle ups. It's sports specific, I guess. So like for CrossFit, it's all about as many reps as possible. So you've got to keep that momentum up. Otherwise you'll die in the ass if you're doing them strict, where calisthenics is more of a strict version. I'm not very good at them to gain strength, where CrossFit's different. And then there's gymnastics as well. I do the gymnastics and the calisthenics one. Calisthenics is more strict. You want to get a more of an over grip. The more you can over grip with your hands like this, instead of pulling up, you're pulling straight through your palm. Here you have to come up here, do a flick over, then push through. Where from here, you can, if you're good enough, you can pull straight down like that. So I guess that's a calisthenics vibe one. This is a gymnastics style one. More momentum. Almost smashed my head on the roof. I didn't realize it was so close. Again, sports specific. Gymnasts use that to use less energy to do their bigger tricks, where with calisthenics, a muscle up is the trick.
First muscle up attempt in probably about 4 months, I'd say now, and about 7 or 8 kilo up from then, so wish me luck.
You ain't fucking with Taz, yes. Turn up the bass, now go. I need the whole earth to hear my flow. Bitch act like you know. 1, 2, 3, we been here before. Damn how it gets so dark. Niggas act dumb when you get too smart. Getting high in the damn airport.
The way you scout with calisthenics is you do a band. So there's some here I'll show you real quick. So if I can't do a calisthenics exercise, you can always use a band to take off some of the load. So for instance, you just see me do 2 before. See how much more strict and slow. So the gym was super loud here, so I had to cancel this order, but this is the equivalent to the first part of the muscle up, just a pull up. This is a lat pull down, and then the second part is this tricep press down. It's not a straight bar, so it's a little bit more different form, but put those 2 movements together and you practically have a muscle up. The biggest thing again with calisthenics is you got to use more stabilizers whenever you do an exercise, because your whole body's involved. Or for instance, ring dips, which are more of a gymnastics, but gymnastics and calisthenics are pretty much entwined. They obviously do way crazier tricks and shit on it, but when you start using things that aren't stabilized, your body has to stabilize for you. So if I was new to ring dips and when I started doing them, it was always like this, which you do get with like a bench press, but again, the bench press is less stabilized than actually using a machine, which is why you will shake until you get used to, I guess, stabilizing it yourself.
It's more so just, so we'll talk about like rate coding and motor unit firing. So obviously, a bench press is a fairly fairly easy exercise, but utilizing your chest, your anterior delt, and your triceps. So when you're first doing your bench press, your body's got to learn how to fire each of those muscle groups, in the right timing and the right order to be able to produce force to the maximum extent. So that's why you get what people call noob gains, and everyone gets pissed off because everyone's strength just shoots up when they first go to the gym. And it's not actually their strength that's increasing, it's just neuromuscular, so they're learning how to produce that force in the most efficient way possible so that they're able to lift the heaviest amount of weight. So when you're starting to translate that to ring dips, for example, we're talking about obviously which exercises would be the best to replace them, bodybuilding versus calisthenics. So a big part of it is actually thinking about your joint positioning. Now, when you're doing a ring dip, like Josh said, your arms are wanting to abduct, coming out. So you've always got to hold them in nice and tight. So some of the force production through your shoulders is actually just keeping your arms in the abducted position. Whereas what we'll show you soon, obviously, is the bodybuilding version. We would just do a Roman chair dip or something, similar P-bar dip. It's the same, but the key is you've got stability in the handles because they're not moving out like the rings. So your force production is entirely vertical. You're not having to hold your arms into your side. So you can produce more force vertically, and therefore target tissue, which is the tricep, gets more growth.
The more you use an unstabilized weight, the more core you'll use, the more stabilizers you'll use, but the less isolation you'll get to that certain muscle. You'll never see a calisthenics athlete with them. The bigger my legs get, the harder that shit is. And I'm also taller, so it's harder, but I also don't train these bad boys. I don't even know how to do that one. You'll never see me on fucking stage.
Next up, we're gonna have posing by Josh.
Lever's probably some people who deadlift their whole fucking life get levers really quickly because it's a posterior chain movement. I still suck at them, and I've been doing Cali for 3 and a bit years now. Whenever it comes to a static thing, you'll never see a bodybuilder doing a static pose because it does absolutely nothing for them. The lever is just a static hold, like this. But better than that. And a precursor to it, which is one of the exercises that I'll show you later, as an alternative bodybuilding aspect, is a lever pull-up.
No pressure, just pleasure. This all the thanks I get. Need pressure. Rebirth.
So the bodybuilding equivalent is this dumbbell pullover. It's pretty much the exact same movement, except for you're pulling it over your head instead of hanging and then pulling your body up. But same muscles almost.
This all the thanks I get.
Holy fuck.
Separation. Me and my ex still fucking, that's reparations. I think we need to make a whole new declaration. Make every cop killer come with a side of bacon. Nightmares of me trying.
Pop my fucking shoulder. Calisthenics, it's all strength and skill based, where you just want to scale up the movements as soon as you can do something enough. So for instance, for a push-up, for basic fundamental strength, they're really good because it does your shoulders, does your triceps, does your chest, does a little bit of core. You can start from there as a very beginner, so just a normal push-up, and then you can get more plyo, and then you can start doing, I hurt my hand at a shoot the other day, so I'm not going to do it, but you can do like Supermans. That will also semi-convert into a handstand push-up once you get the balance, because you do need the shoulder and chest strength. Same with like pull-ups. A pull-up is just a basic fundamental exercise, but it can be hard for people to start. You can really, if there's a bar on the ground, for instance, you can delve it back to real beginners, where even this height, for instance, you can do a Australian pull-up where it's just here. And then if I could rep out like 8 to 10 of those, I would drop the bar, drop the bar, drop the bar until I'm pretty much under it. And then when you can do 8 to 10 Australian pull-ups, you should be able to go straight to the bar. And if not, you can then use these to help give you momentum to do your pull-up. I get that going to a gym can be scary for a lot of people. You can literally do 100 of these a day. And although it won't happen quick, you can build a lot of strength in your legs doing them. And as we were talking about before, all you want to do in a calisthenics aspect is make that skill harder if it gets easier. So I could probably, I don't have legs, but I could probably do 100 bodyweight squats just like this, watching TV, piece of piss. That's not going to do much for me unless I was doing it consistently all the fucking time, and it'll be diminishing returns. So I'd still be getting a return, but it'll be less and less and less and less and less as I get stronger in that movement. So I want to make it more complex and either do like a semi-pistol squat or, sorry, hold on to something into a pistol squat, where now it's gone more complex from 2 legs, bilateral and unilateral. And then obviously if I could do 100 of those or 10 of those or whatever, you can go straight to 1 leg and work your way up from there. Then you can obviously externally load it.
So I personally compete. I started in just men's physique. I'm transitioning into classic physique as well. So I'm a pro physique athlete, still amateur as a classic physique, which is almost, you know, the in-between between physique and bodybuilding. The idea is that you have, you know, obviously a really small waist and nice broad shoulders, decent legs as a physique competitor as well. But again, it's about playing to your strengths, and it comes down a lot to, you know, posing. You can have the most fantastic physique, but if you say do your front pose straight with your hips straight on, and there's no taper, you know, I've got fairly broad upper back and shoulders, whereas that doesn't have the most fantastic look.
That's going to be the end of the vlog there. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. If you're actually interested in learning more about calisthenics, either message me below or hit me up on Instagram, because I am a personal trainer. I did used to train people in it, and I think it is definitely the most underrated training regime that everybody should be doing if they're wanting to get into some sort of athleticism or even lifting weights at the gym in general, because it does build a strong core and it keeps training way more interesting than just lifting weights, because you can do cool shit wherever you go. And with COVID, or COVID's pretty much over, but with that sending places into lockdown, you can always do your training inside. Anyway, I'll see you all next week. I love you all. Remember to like and subscribe. Peace.